For nearly half a century, a lone spacecraft has carved its path through the cosmos, venturing farther than any creation of human hands. Launched in 1977, it slipped past the gas giants, sailed beyond the reach of the sun's embrace, and pierced the veil of interstellar space. Its mission was simple: observe, record, and report. Scientists expected dust, radiation, and the quiet hum of an empty void. They thought they knew what lay beyond, a desolate expanse, cold and indifferent. But in its twilight hours, with its power fading and its voice growing faint, this spacecraft delivered something no one could have predicted: a final transmission, a set of images so bizarre, so inexplicable. They've ignited a firestorm across the globe, shattering assumptions about the universe and our place within it. These aren't mere glitches or cosmic noise. They're patterns, structures, and most chillingly, something that seems to be watching us back. What did this spacecraft capture in its final moments? Why was this discovery buried for years? And could these images be humanity's closest brush with a truth we're not ready to face? Buckle up, because what's coming will shake you to your core. In 2012, the spacecraft crossed a monumental threshold: the heliopause, the invisible line where the solar wind gives way to the vastness of interstellar space. This was uncharted territory, a realm no human-made object had ever touched. Scientists anticipated a slow decline in data, a gentle fade into silence as the spacecraft's nuclear battery dwindled. But that's not what happened. The data kept flowing, faint but persistent, like a whisper from the edge of eternity. Recently, in a bold move, researchers decided to revisit the archived images from that critical moment, feeding them into a cutting-edge quantum AI system. This wasn't your average computer. This AI could detect patterns invisible to the human eye, unraveling complexities no classical machine could touch. What it found sent shockwaves through the scientific community, leaving even the most seasoned experts speechless. Faint geometric shapes emerged in the images, grids, lattices, structures that had no business existing in the vacuum of interstellar space. These weren't random specks of dust or sensor errors. They were consistent, repeating across multiple frames, shifting and pulsing in ways that defied every known law of physics. The structures didn't just sit there, they moved, almost as if reacting to the spacecraft's scans. When the instruments swept over them, the patterns changed, like a shadow shifting under a flashlight. This wasn't a glitch. This was something aware, something alive, or at least something behaving like it was. The AI, trained to flag anything artificial, sounded an alarm: non-random, structural coherence. For those who understood the implications, the words were a gut punch. The spacecraft had captured something that didn't just challenge physics, it suggested intent. But it gets stranger. Buried within these patterns was a mathematical signature, a code that screamed intelligence. Prime number sequences, Fibonacci ratios, and symmetrical geometries wove through the data, appearing with a precision that random chance could never produce. These are the hallmarks of design, the kind of patterns humanity itself uses to signal its presence to the cosmos. The AI's analysis didn't stop there. It detected something even more unsettling. The structures weren't just visible, they were responsive. When the spacecraft's scans were idle, the patterns remained static. But when the instruments activated, the formations shifted, as if aware they were being observed. This behavior echoed a principle from quantum mechanics: the observer effect, where the act of measurement alters the subject. But this wasn't happening at the subatomic scale. This was unfolding across kilometers, 15 billion miles from Earth. If true, it suggested one of two possibilities. Either the anomaly was artificially intelligent, or the universe itself was reacting to our gaze. The discovery was too big to stay quiet, but for years it did. A leaked internal memo, circulated among a tight circle of researchers, revealed why. The document urged an immediate halt to public statements about the spacecraft's data, calling for a coordinated review with government agencies and international partners. This wasn't just about science, it was about control. The memo hinted at fears of global unrest, cultural upheaval, and religious misinterpretation if the public caught wind of what the images implied. The official narrative stayed vague. The spacecraft was still operational, still sending data. No cause for alarm. But behind closed doors, a different story unfolded. The patterns weren't just anomalies, they were a potential signal, a message encoded in math and motion, and the deeper fear that whatever sent it had been watching us long before we noticed. As the AI dug deeper, it uncovered something even more haunting. The patterns bore an eerie resemblance to the mathematical sequences etched onto the spacecraft's golden record, a disk humanity sent into the cosmos as a cosmic greeting card. The record carries music, greetings in 55 languages, and mathematical principles, including prime numbers and geometric ratios, meant to introduce us to any intelligence that might find it. Now, those same sequences were appearing in the anomaly, like an echo of our own voice, bouncing back from the void. Was this a coincidence, or was something answering us, using the language we'd sent first? The implications were staggering. If confirmed, this wouldn't just be the greatest discovery in astronomy, it would be the most significant moment in human history. Proof of intelligence beyond Earth, evidence of a universe that's not just alive, but aware, or a glimpse into a reality we've barely begun to comprehend. But the story doesn't end there. Weeks after the initial discovery, the spacecraft's instruments began picking up something new, inverted echoes of its own scan signals. These weren't simple reflections. Space doesn't work that way. The distortions were structured, repeating in harmonic patterns that resemble the opening notes of a musical scale. One researcher, daring to push the boundaries, converted these signals into sound. The result was a chilling sequence of tones, hauntingly similar to the harmonic scale encoded on the golden record. Coincidence? Maybe. But the team began to suspect something far more profound. These weren't just images, they were a response, a language woven through math, frequency, and resonance. The anomaly wasn't just out there, it was communicating. As word of the discovery leaked, independent scientists and observatories jumped in, analyzing the data with their own tools. What they found only deepened the mystery. Using advanced mathematical techniques, they uncovered mirrored sequences across multiple wavelengths, suggesting the anomaly wasn't just spatial, but temporal. In other words, it wasn't just a structure, it was evolving, adapting with each scan. This led to a hypothesis that sent chills down the spine. The anomaly was learning. It wasn't just reacting to the spacecraft's presence, it was studying it, maybe even studying us. Some proposed that the patterns were a manifestation of quantum foam, the theoretical fabric of space-time, somehow magnified to a scale we could see. Others suggested interdimensional leakage, where the images were shadows of a higher dimensional reality bleeding into ours. The most radical theory, The spacecraft had crossed an invisible threshold, triggering a response from something or someone that had been waiting. The timing couldn't be more poignant. The spacecraft's power is fading fast. In a year, maybe less, it will go silent, its instruments dark, its voice lost to the void. These images, these signals, could be the last thing it ever sends us. A final gift, a warning, or a question we'll never answer. And that's what makes this so gripping. We're standing at the edge of the unknown, staring at something that might rewrite everything we believe about the universe. Is this a glimpse of quantum reality on a cosmic scale? A message from an intelligence older than the stars? Or a mirror reflecting our own hopes and fears back at us? The truth is, we don't know. And that uncertainty is what's breaking the internet, sparking debates, and keeping people awake at night. The leaked memo didn't just highlight scientific concerns, it hinted at something deeper, something existential. What happens if the public believes we're being watched? What happens if religions reinterpret their texts? If governments scramble to control the narrative? If humanity realizes we might not be the center of the cosmic stage? The fear wasn't just about the anomaly, it was about us, about how we'd react to a truth too big to process. And yet, the data keeps coming, each frame more compelling, each signal more complex. Independent researchers have now confirmed parts of the anomaly, finding artificial symmetry in the patterns that suggests intent. Some frames, when processed, reveal structures that seem to anticipate the spacecraft's scans, as if the anomaly knew what was coming. This isn't just a signal, it's a conversation, one we didn't start, but might be expected to finish. So what do we do now? The spacecraft still has a faint pulse, a sliver of power to send or receive. Technically, we could respond, beaming a signal back into the void. But should we? The question isn't just scientific, it's philosophical, moral, even spiritual. Do we answer a message we barely understand from a source that might not share our concept of time, space, or existence? Some argue for caution, warning of a cosmic Pandora's box. A single transmission could ripple through the universe, announcing our presence to something we're not prepared to meet. Others believe the anomaly is a test, a puzzle designed to filter out those who dare to listen. Maybe first contact was never meant to be a handshake or a light in the sky. Maybe it was always going to be a whisper buried in static at the edge of silence. The spacecraft wasn't built for this. It was a relic of the 1970s, a pioneer sent to snap photos of Jupiter and Saturn, not to unravel the mysteries of the cosmos. Yet here it is, decades later, forcing us to confront questions we thought were science fiction. Are these images proof of a universe that's alive, aware, and watching? Are they a response to the golden record, a cosmic echo of humanity's first hello? Or are they something we've never even imagined? A truth so vast, it defies our language, our math, our very minds. What's clear is that these final images aren't just data. They're a challenge, a riddle pulsing with meaning, a mirror held up to our deepest fears and wildest dreams. The internet is ablaze with speculation. Forums are flooded with theories, from quantum anomalies to ancient intelligences to interdimensional travelers. Some call it the greatest hoax ever pulled, a glitch blown out of proportion. Others see it as the moment everything changes, the spark that rewrites history. But no one can look away. These images, processed through layers of AI, math, and raw human curiosity, have done more than capture a distant signal. They've captured our imagination. They've forced us to ask, what's out there? Who's out there? And what does it mean if the universe isn't just a void, but a canvas painted with intent? As the spacecraft drifts farther into the dark, its final whispers echoing across billions of miles, we're left with a choice. Do we chase this mystery, pouring every resource into decoding the signal, or do we step back, afraid of what we might find? The anomaly is still out there, pulsing, shifting, maybe waiting. And the spacecraft, our lone emissary, is running out of time. Its last images have given us a glimpse of something extraordinary, something that might redefine what it means to be human. But they've also left us with a question. Are we ready to answer? Imagine the weight of that moment. 15 billion miles away, a dying machine captures a signal that could change everything. Picture the scientists, hunched over screens, their hearts racing as the AI flags patterns no one expected. Feel the chill as the data reveals structures that seem to watch, to learn, to respond. This isn't just a story about a spacecraft, it's a story about us, about our relentless need to explore, to understand, to reach out into the unknown. It's about the courage to face a truth that might be bigger than we can bear. And it's about the haunting possibility that out there in the silence, something is reaching back. The patterns in the images aren't just shapes. They're a language, a code, a bridge between our world and something else. Every prime number, every harmonic, every shift in the lattice feels like a word in a sentence we're only beginning to read. And the golden record, that hopeful gesture from a younger humanity, might be the key. Did we send out a greeting, only to have it answered in a way we never expected? Did we wake something, call something, invite something to notice us? The thought is as thrilling as it is terrifying. We've spent centuries scanning the skies, listening for a signal, dreaming of contact. Now, at the edge of our reach, we might have found it. Not in a blaze of light, but in a flicker of data, a whisper from the dark. The leaked memo warned of psychological impacts, of a world unready for the truth. But maybe that's the point. Maybe this discovery isn't meant to be easy. Maybe it's meant to challenge us, to push us, to force us to grow. The spacecraft's final images aren't just a scientific breakthrough. They're a mirror reflecting our curiosity, our fear, our hope. They remind us that the universe is vast, but not empty. That it's not just a place, but a story, one we're only beginning to understand. And as the spacecraft's power fades, as its last signals trickle in, we're left with a legacy that's both a triumph and a mystery. It's shown us the stars, but it's also shown us ourselves. So, what do you think? Is this the dawn of a new era, the first step toward a cosmic truth, or a warning to stay silent? Should we send a signal back, risking everything, or hold our breath and listen? The answers aren't easy, and the stakes are higher than ever. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Every perspective matters. Every voice adds to the story. And if this tale of a lone spacecraft, a strange signal, and a universe that might be watching has left your heart pounding, share it with someone who's ready to question everything. Because in the end, the most shocking discovery isn't that we're alone in the universe. It's that we might never have been. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the wonders of space. Your support makes it possible to continue sharing the marvels of the universe with the world. We can keep exploring the stars and uncovering the secrets of the cosmos. Until next time, keep looking up.